Yo, testing, testing. Let's make sure this mic is working. Testing, testing. Sweet. Looks like we're good to go. So we have a discussion. Let me mess with these settings real quick. Hmm. So it's gonna be in 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and do this while we wait. Yeah, I was watching this yesterday. I want to see if they have any. You said Hebrews 1 and 3. I just forgot that I'm not even sharing the audio. Oh man. Oh, uh-oh. Hey y'all, this Zoom about to go down. Hold up. What's up, IOCK? I'm gonna run this live again. My Zoom is acting crazy. I'll be right back. Wait, that work? Nope. watching, bear with me. I'm trying to find. Let me look this up then. That's not. 'em. I'm tripping. All right, this is straight. 30 bucks. It's cool. All right, this is straight. Hmm. No, I gotta call this. Hmm. Bear with me. I'm gonna play this while I'm trying to figure this out, y'all.
That just shows a distinction of person, not two separate beings.
Yeah. Because even with the word theos in the New Testament that's used for the word of God for both Elohim and Yahweh, the context determines how it's being used, not the word itself. So just because it uses the word God, the context
Okay.
surrounding it does determine how it's being used. And we do, for example, where there is explicit verses that talk about how Jesus is the Most High God of the Old Testament, that references Jesus as the Most High God from the Old Testament. Where's Radar when
So,
you need him? You know, or
so can we line up scripture like 3 verses then? I have it on Bible Hub or Bible Gateway, excuse me. So I see right hand of God, at the right hand of the Most High, or Majesty on high, and the three thrones. Wow, concept in Revelation. So Acts 7, Hebrew 1, and Revelation
yeah,
3.
okay,
So they're all three talking about the right hand on in a throne at least. And then
man,
Hebrews 1 and 3 has the majesty on high, meaning to me the most high.
okay,
But we
If
can,
he's right there next to the Majesty on high, he's as high as the Majesty, isn't he?
so you're I think so. We had a previous conversation with JP about this level thing. Um, I don't see it as like a just because they're sitting right next to each other that means they have the same authority or power. You guys go to the essence thing. I don't. That's not a
actually, you
that's
don't
not a
even have to
debate.
go to that. You can just go to, I mean, literally Hebrews 1:8, where the Father here, who you say is the Most High, he's talking about the Son, and I have it right here where it's quoting Psalm 45:6 and 7, which the name Yahweh is being used there. That's not
Which one?
Elohim. In Psalm 45, 6, and 7.
1 second.
And of the Father, he says of the Son. Your throne, O God.
Okay, I have to. I've read this before, but I have to, like, my focus is on the Hebrews 1 and 3. So let's just go there, I guess, rather than bounce to Psalms. So when you read, how do
All right, y'all, we back.
you separate Jesus being the Son of Man sitting next to the Majesty? How do you see Majesty on high?
The Son of Man is literally sitting. If he's sitting at the right, seating right next to the Majesty on high, he's on high with the Majesty. They're both the Most High. You
So
can't
this,
get any higher than that.
so this is always the same line of questioning. Like, does the Most High have a God, and does the Messiah have a God? We go there with hierarchy. So
Brother.
this is where.
Brother, it's very simple. The reason that Jesus has a God is because he took upon flesh. It's
So
not
is he?
that. It's,
So
brother,
I understand
not
that's actually where that whole flesh argument comes up multiple times. That's actually why I mentioned that the debate. I was dissatisfied with that answer. So in heaven So in heaven,
He
does
still
Jesus
has,
have flesh or is it a spirit?
he still has glorified flesh. He has glorified flesh. He still says in heaven, he says that he's still the descendant of David, right? In Revelation.
Yeah, but it's more of like a spiritual body, not like an actual earthly flesh.
It's well, of course, our flesh becomes spiritualized, but it's still flesh. But it's just glorified.
So that's where you get into the whole essence thing. I don't have precepts to like bring forth right now. I'll probably come back again and explain more to that.
But
But it's not the same.
Can we agree that Jesus, in order for him to still be a root and descendant of David, that he has to, that's physical descent. He still needs flesh in order to be the root of David, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So just because it's glorified flesh doesn't take away that it's flesh, but it's glorified, right? So this is why still in heaven he can still say that the Father is his God pertaining to his flesh, while at the same time having the divine nature that he shares with the Father that is Most High.
So he has a divine nature with. So he has a divine.
Nature.
So he has both, is what you're saying.
Yes, sir. Both and.
Does the Most High have the same phenomenon or concept, or is it only the Messiah that
This is
has
so
that
difficult.
special?
The Most High
attribute?
has that concept because the Most High took on flesh. That's what's happening here.
Okay, so does the Father have that same attribute for technicality?
Father never took on flesh, but he still has that same. So the Father has the nature of the Most High. So does the Son, but the Son is the person who took on flesh, not the Father.
Yeah, actually, you would agree Psalm 22 would be about the Messiah, right?
Psalm 22.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick, brother. Andrew
Yep.
Griffin, if you're still out there, Andrew Griffin, if you're still out there, type a 1 and I will send you the link.
3 or 1 as in one being. I mean, I don't understand the person's part. Whenever people describe it as 3 persons, they say it's still just one God. Jesus is God, the Most High God.
Let's go back to this
I
actually.
don't understand how we could say that whenever Christ himself said that
things either.
We are. Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
We're creation.
We
things.
are creations.
Okay.
We could be beasts, but we're not things.
Yeah. Yes, we are, bro.
I mean, that's simple English, like now.
Okay. So it says all things were created through him, and nothing without him, nothing that has been made,
Has it been made?
was made.
I agree.
You believe the word was made.
Yes.
So that would
Is
mean,
the word Christ?
So yes.
Okay, so if the word is Christ, then the word is made.
No, okay, so if you're saying that,
What
then
does it mean to be the word?
Wait, let me land this.
Okay.
If you're saying that the word is made, then you have to say, Cap, you have to say, if you're going to be consistent, that the word created himself, that the Father created the word through the word, because nothing that was made came into being without the word.
What does the word mean?
It's the logos.
No, what is the no? I ain't talking about the meaning of the word.
Okay.
But when you see the word, what does that mean?
The one who explains God. The wisdom
Explains
of God.
who?
Explains the Father.
Explain.
God the Father. Yeah.
I mean, goddamn.
How?
Okay, he said.
If you're saying that,
he said
how? Guys that
the only. But that means when it says he's the Word of God, he receives the instructions from the Father and then gives us the Word of God. That's why he's the Word.
That's not my question. I
didn't say that was your question. Okay. I'm saying that's what when it's calling him the Word, he's receiving something. We're receiving. When Christ spoke, he said, "The words that I speak are not mine." Whose are the words?
You're conflating the Father's words speaking audibly with the Word of God who explains the Father.
What words?
That's not
when he said he spoke the words, what words he spoke?
Wait, just to be clear,
whose words he spoke?
Are you saying that the Father's words that he spoke is the same thing as Jesus being the Word?
What words did he speak? When he spoke his words, he said, "The words are not mine." Whose words did he speak?
He's speaking the gospel. He's speaking of the Father's words.
Oh, the Father's, right?
Yeah.
So the Father gave him what to say, right?
So no worries. Is Jesus?
That's why he's the Word.
But no, that's not what it says, though. See, Cap, you're not even explaining it right. When you're talking about the Father's words, you said Jesus is the Word, right?
Super good by the time we get finished.
I think I'm pretty good now.
Yeah.
You believe that Jesus is the Word, right?
Yeah, I believe that.
And you believe that the Father also spoke words to him, right?
Yes.
So the Father is speaking words to the Word.
Yes.
Okay, so do you see the distinction there? So you don't like doing your back.
When you say see the distinction, give me what you mean.
So there's a distinction between the spoken words of the Father and the person who's identified as the Word.
He's only called the Word because he's the one getting the Word directly from the Father. Like when Stephen looked up to the sky and saw God and saw Christ standing on the right hand, he didn't see Jesus and God as one. He saw them separate.
He saw the distinction, not a separation.
Was Jesus from the tribe of Judah in heaven?
Yes.
Shalom.
Yes, he is.
I almost walked away from it.
Yeah, no, he
I almost walked away from it.
He is.
So Jesus is still an Israelite in heaven.
In heaven because he has flesh.
So is God an Israelite?
The Son, God the Son is an Israelite. Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
I didn't ask you about God the Son.
That's what.
Yeah. So when we look at my bad, I'm eating. When we look at the word is the word logos in the Greek, and it basically has this idea of the reason. It comes from or is birthed from the reason, right? So as we look at Jesus being the Word of God, this is what we would call an internal procession, because your reason proceeds inwardly within ourselves. So when we say and we explain that the Trinity is one God who exists within himself as three persons, we're saying that these processions, especially because the Father's not proceeded, the Father is what's the word? The Father possesses inaccessibility, meaning he doesn't proceed from any of the other two persons. So the Son proceeds from the Father in this way, by way of the intellect, the mind, and then the Spirit proceeds by way of will, which is love. And these are all inward processions. So that's why we say there's one God who existed alone that exists within himself as three persons. A lot of people can't really grasp this, but yeah, definitely he is cooking captain right now.
Is God an Israelite?
Yes,
the Most High?
Yeah,
Makes
God
no
the
sense.
Son, because he took on flesh, is an Israelite according to his
right
flesh.
here. Clip this right here.
Yeah, clip it.
He said God. What tribe he from?
The word.
What tribe God from?
The Word who is God became flesh. You can do that all you want. That don't do nothing. The Word who is God, and you got to deal with the argument. The Word who is God became flesh.
That's not what I asked you.
But let me answer you, man.
Yeah, no, that's a good statement, CK. The Word is the physical expression of God on earth. that's a silly argument because Moses was receiving instruction from God and he wasn't called the Word. Okay, yeah, we can say that with every single prophet, my guy, for sure.
The Word who is God.
That is crazy.
The Word
man.
who is God became flesh, and the Scripture
That's not
says,
the question I asked you.
I'm literally answering you, Cap. Come on, man.
But you're not answering what I'm asking.
I'm literally asking. You're asking what tribe is God from? That's what you asked. I'm
no,
giving you the answer.
The first thing I said was is Christ an Israelite in heaven?
And what was my answer?
Your answer was yes.
Thank you. So
that's Revelation, the 5th chapter.
Can I continue to elaborate?
But Christ is before the throne.
Cap, you're not letting me elaborate.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead.
So I said the Word
you might
is
want
God.
To help your audience.
The word is God. God, because he's the Word, became flesh according to the Scripture. And according to his flesh, he's born of the tribe of Judah, a descendant of David. So that's how I can say God is of the tribe of Israel according to what? His flesh. So you need to deal with this argument instead of turning to the crowd and saying, man, look at this right here. That's not an argument. You got to deal with the argument. And now, you
Captain appeals to the argument, so I get salty over there.
That all things were made through him, and nothing that was made without him. So if he himself is made, you have to say that Jesus Christ was made through Jesus Christ. I want to hear you say it. Say it.
You done?
Yeah, I want to hear you say it. Say Jesus Christ was made through Jesus Christ.
That's probably like the first genuine laugh you got up out of me. So now, here's the windmill you just did. The windmill you just did,
See, what Captain is not understanding is that if he's saying that Jesus was created and that Jesus created all things, that his position would have to be that Jesus created Jesus through Jesus. Because if Jesus created all things and not all other things, as we see in the New Watchtower translation, that word other isn't there in the Greek. So it says all things, and Colossians 1 goes on to tell us this is everything in earth and in heaven, visible and invisible. So this is everything seen and not seen. And that covers a multitude of literally everything. Because then it goes on to name principalities, powers, rulerships. These are things that are invisible. So he's giving examples. Because we know every single visible thing is like, creatures, animals, humans, resources, just everything, period. So if Jesus is like visible and he was created, or if he was invisible, he is a power, a principality, a rulership. And Jesus created Jesus through Jesus.
I just asked you is Christ from the tribe of Judah in heaven? Because now what that does is that eliminates his human nature versus spiritual nature. In heaven, no one can open that scroll. The 24 elders is like nobody can open the scroll. Yeah. And then we have him, the Lion of David from the tribe of Judah.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna stop the share real quick. Bro, no. Oh, man, this Zoom is just like frozen today, man. Okay. Yeah, it is frozen. Yep. I don't know what's up with it. If you guys can see, I got the camera up. You guys go ahead and follow me on TikTok. I'm actually going to post a link in the chat. I'm trying to start posting like every single day just to get some action on TikTok. Seven. You guys got TikTok? Go ahead and follow me. CK said one was flip-flop because all means all to them according to all Edom destroyer. That's correct. But now created all things doesn't mean all to them. Yep. Double standard, man.
Judah being presented before the Father, who we already established he's called God.
And so
that's the God. So now, once I asked you, is God from a tribe? You said, yeah. It's not in context to John 1:1, which I already broke down that the word God in that context is Elohim. And Elohim means power, messenger, angel, authority. It's not calling him the Most High or Yahweh. It's not calling him that. So you can't combine and cherry pick or run or what y'all do, eisegete. You can't eisegete.
to the sound?
What's up?
What happened to the sound?
Oh, wait, hold up.
But John 1 and 3, right? John 1 and 3 is the same thing as Colossians that we was just talking about.
I agree.
So
you
the
have the same
Father,
problem.
no, because the Father gave Christ the power to do that.
To do what?
To create all things.
Did he give him the power to create himself?
He didn't have to create himself because the Father. This is so idiotic.
Stay
And the
there,
Father,
stay
he
there.
didn't have to. When I'm saying didn't have to create himself, I'm talking about the Most High.
No,
Your
you said Jesus didn't have to create himself.
No, because the Father created him.
Well, wait, hold on. It says that all things that were made through him.
Except him.
Where does it say that?
It doesn't say he created himself. Where did
I gotta pull this up. Hold up.
Hey, what happened to the other guy?
Ron?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he might be on a live right now. Let me check. What just happened? I just had a freaking window open. Well, there's that. Let me see. Actually, he's not live. He might just be getting off of work. He works a little late. So,
Wait.
oh yeah, I remember he said he's going to be an hour late because he's working.
Oh, we're waiting on him.
No, I'm waiting on the one guy, but I think he said he can't. I don't even know if I could get him on Zoom. I might have to call him and just have a chat with him. But I'm gonna just run this for like another 25 minutes ish. It just kind of because I was doing this debate review on this was a really big debate. This guy got Logic, like 250,000 followers. And then let me see if I can, where's Caps? Yeah, Cap Tazariak, he got like, I don't know if this is his main channel. I think it's Cross the Line Radio. Say that don't look right. Well, yeah. But Cross the Line Radio got like, 20,000 subscribers. Got Logic got like 270,000 subscribers. So they had a pretty big debate in New York. Got Logic came down to visit. They debated this and they debated Gentile salvation.
where does it say?
And I did this in parts. I guess I'll just have to change the name of this live to I have it as Trinity debate or Trinity discussion with Christian. But let me.
On Zoom, you can do there. You can go live.
On YouTube, yeah. Yeah, there's like a. No, I don't know where my. See, this is where it kind of makes me upset because I got all these settings set up, return to meeting, share, boom. Good morning. Hmm?
Go sit next to you. I have to take my diaper off.
Girl, you can't sit next to me, but go take your diaper off. Oh man. You know what this girl said to me last night?
Mhm.
So I had tried to force feed her some blueberries and she didn't like that. She ended up throwing up. So I was like, oh, I felt kind of bad. I was trying to make her, eat healthy. And she's laying down and she said, Daddy, you want me to throw up tomorrow again? Yes or no? I was like, no. And then she said, then stop giving me some blueberries. I was like, what? What?
You don't like them?
Nah, I guess she doesn't.
What? The blueberries so
Yes.
good.
I know she just she used to like them when she was younger, but she has a weird thing for texture now. So,
Really?
mhm. Yeah, very weird thing for texture. Yeah, I'm gonna try to give this guy a call. I don't even, yeah. Try to see if maybe we can set up for him to come on tomorrow. Yeah, today is Friday. Yeah, today's Friday. I'm trying to see if I can have set up and have him
It's
come on
Thursday.
tomorrow. Huh?
Today's Thursday for me.
Yeah, well, today's my Friday
Yeah.
morning.
That you guys were
But
on today, or was it yesterday?
no, we weren't. It was supposed to be today. And now my logos just went out. There it is. Okay. So wait, now I gotta recap on the video. Hold up.
Say he him created him.
Well, wait, hold on. It says that all things that were made through him.
Except him.
Where does it say that?
It doesn't say he created himself.
Well, all things that were made through him. Without him was not anything made that was made. John 1.
Why is
Come
it
on,
that
I'm on Zoom, babe.
I kind of wonder why is it that they can't see that?
What'd you say?
Why is it they can't see that he's always existed?
Because they look at the problem is they look at passages like Colossians 1 and 15 and they read that word firstborn and they think it means first in the order of like a sequence and actually being born. They're not honest when it comes to the rest of the times that word's used. Like David's called the firstborn king of all the earth, even though he wasn't the first king and he was not the firstborn son of Jesse. Um, so we look at, things like that. And also there's another one. I think they try to use Proverbs 8. You ever read Proverbs 8?
Yeah, and in the past, yeah.
Yeah, speaks about wisdom and it uses peculiar language and it's all kind of dependent on the King James Version translation. So verse 22, the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way before his works of old. A lot of them will go to different translations and see this word possessed as being translated as created. The Lord created me in the beginning of his way. Um, Now, this word in the Hebrew is interesting, kana. It can be used as create, but it also can just be used as to actually possess something. When it says, when it talks about men taking wives, that word kana is used. So that's showing that the wife existed before the man possessed her. But it's also used in the sense of create. So um but I think if you ever heard of Michael Heiser, he just recently passed. He was a Hebrew scholar, and he has articles on this verse and like kind of just connecting the wisdom here with Christ and how we see it in the New Testament. It's a pretty good article. It's very easy to follow. Not too, he gives some small things on the Hebrew, but really just connecting verses. It's pretty good. But yeah, John 1:1 verse 3. And we'll get back to this video. John 1 verse 3. So God Logic is referring to this verse. He says, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So when we say all things here, just like ILCK pointed out, I gotta figure out how to pull up this. I can see the comments. But just like ILCK pointed out, am I still live? Yeah, okay. Just like he pointed out, all means all here, and they'll say that all means all when it comes to all Edom getting destroyed, but now for some reason all doesn't mean all here.
Hey,
So that's why.
whatever
Yeah.
became of that dude, Ron?
Ron?
Yeah,
Or you talking about Raham?
yeah, Ron.
I don't know. Let me see what he's up to. I mean, he told me he was taking a little break.
That guy. Dude, hey, the dude. That's the other dude. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was yeah, that guy's a character, man. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let you go uninterrupted. Go ahead. And when it's my turn, that's the only thing that like, man, that drives me crazy. If I give you time to talk and then you interrupt me, it's like, man, come on.
Oh, sucker.
But look, I have a lot of patience, especially like dealing with Hebrew Israelites. I understand, like, even as they're giving answers and they're going off the topic, I want to jump in, but like if I do, they're just gonna use that as an excuse to jump in with me later. So that's why I'm kind of like a little more cool tempered. Oh
They go buck wild, man.
man, for real. Let me start this up.
Where does it say he created himself? That must be swine.
Hey man,
that gotta be pork you cooking. That gotta be pork.
Precept, give it a precept, man. Give it a precept.
That gotta be pork you cooking though.
I need a precept.
Because there's
man.
no scripture that he created himself. He did not create himself.
So Cap, stop. If there's no scripture that says that he created himself, so that means he always existed.
No, it did not. Then what we have to do is go by the scriptures that we have. And if the scriptures say who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation, and then it talks about all the things which is just like John 1 and 3. It breaks down everything that he created. And then it says, for it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. Common sense, not Christianity, tells me the Father gave him that power. And then you have to now translate that with other scriptures. So the other scriptures of his glory, when he asked for his glory, he didn't take it back. He asked for it back. He said, yeah, I may run away.
Yeah, you are.
How did I clearly just told you, Colossians 1 and 19, once it says it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell, that means there's a father looking at a son saying, I'm going to give you this authority.
Cap,
that's facts. That's two different entities.
All right, one more time, Cap. And then I'll ask you just one more time. Cap, was all things made through Jesus?
By the Most High.
Okay, so all things
like 1 Corinthians 8 say it.
So all things by the Most High was created through Jesus. Was Jesus created?
By the Most High.
So then that would mean that Jesus, by the Most High, was created through Jesus by the Most High.
I feel sorry for you Christians, man.
I feel sorry for you Hebrew Israelites, man.
You can't keep copying my style. You got to come up with something on your own.
I'm also showman too, you know. This is chef.
Hey, when he go back and debate, I'm going to see him copying everything. Anyway, but the Father,
I got to pull from all the greats,
the Father gave something to the Son.
What did he give him?
The power.
Where does it say that?
And it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell.
But it doesn't say that
if it displeased him, could he take it from him? Huh? If it displeased him, could he take it from him?
So number one, there's never going to be any displeasing or any. That doesn't help you. There can never be any displeasing in the Father and the Son.
No,
they're always in perfect unity. So that's impossible. That's like I'm answering you. Look, this is your question.
So if it say it pleased the Father, that means he was pleased at creating Christ and then telling Christ to go do these things.
Yes, but this is what you just said. Yes, I said yes to that. But you asked me, can there ever be any displeasure from the Father and the Son to where he takes something away from the Son? That there's never any.
I don't mean that in the literal sense because you don't read that because he was obedient. What I'm saying is the fact that it says it pleased him.
Okay.
That means that's something that the Father was pleased in his creation, pleased in what he saw in his Son, and then gave his Son the power to do those things.
That doesn't answer my question. Through who was Jesus created?
Christ. Excuse me, the Most High.
Where does it say that? Give me the verse where it says that through the Most High, Jesus was created.
Colossians 1 and 19.
Colossians 1 and 19 just says that in him he was pleased that all
and
the
fact
fullness
that
dwelled.
you have.
I don't answer that.
And if you go to Daniel, I think it's Daniel 7, when it talked about the Ancient of Days did sit, and then the Son of Man is coming before him. And he sits the Son of the Most High has always been on his throne.
Wait, hold on. The Most High there? The word is plural.
When you talk about the Ancient of Days on the throne?
Well, in Daniel 7, when it mentions the Most High, in verse 18, 22,
well, every time you see the word God, it's plural. You got to look at the context.
Yeah, but who are the Most Highs in Daniel 7?
You have to tell me what verse you're talking about.
So I'm talking about, so you got Daniel 7, like when the Ancient of Days first appears, you see verse 9, right?
I'm talking specifically like when he's sitting on the throne and then the Son of Man is being brought before him.
But how many thrones are mentioned?
Well, there's two thrones. If you go to Revelations 3 and 21, when Christ says, them that, I'm paraphrasing, them that endure will sit with me on my throne as I sit with my Father in his throne. Even in the heavens, there's two thrones.
Right.
So if there's two thrones, you got God on one throne and you got Christ on another throne.
Right, absolutely. Now with this, when it continues to go, it talks about how the saints of the Most High, right? It says the saints of the Most High.
I think that's later down in the chapter.
Yeah, later down.
What I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is the Ancient of Days is sitting on his throne.
Yeah.
And then the Son of Man is coming to him.
Yeah, but my question is this:
who's that Son of Man?
Oh, that's Jesus. My point is this though: who are the Most Highs that it's talking about? Because it's mentions Most Highs in plural.
No, you got to show me. You got to show me what you're talking about.
Okay, so
I'm not aware.
It says,
it's in Daniel 7. I could probably find it quickly.
Yeah, it's in Daniel. You got Bible?
Yeah.
Give me Bible. That's Bible right here. Give me Bible. So we go to Daniel 7.
Do I have this playing on another one?
If you just pause, I think we should be both applauded for being able to go with 40 minutes without pulling out one actual Bible verse and everybody understanding and following.
All right, wait, hold
that's
up.
amazing in itself.
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
All right.
My computer is spazzing.
All right, so we go to
Daniel. You think it says Daniel 7?
Yes, sir. Daniel 7.
So the one I was talking about is verse 9 when it says, "They be held to the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did."
You said that there's thrones and yada yada.
You
maybe
still hear it?
Until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints. Of the Most High. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's one.
And the time.
18 is one too.
Bugged out, man.
Verse 18 it says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever."
All right,
and ever.
wait,
He's
hold
saying
up.
That word most.
That's what it is. Okay, I got this weird new setting, Alfred. It's really weird. That's why I'm losing my Zoom. So, like, okay, that makes sense now. So, like, I don't know if you know how to do this on your computer, but you hit Alt and you hit Tab, and it used to let you like tab between different like programs, but now it's like tabbing between different desktops, and I'm like, it confuses me because I never had it set up that way. I think it must be like this new update.
Did sit,
Okay.
And then the Son of Man is coming before him.
And he sits
the Son
on
of
his
the
throne
Most
too.
High has always been on his throne.
Wait, hold on. The Most High there?
Okay.
The word is plural.
When you talk about the Ancient of Days on the throne.
Well, in Daniel 7, when it mentions the Most High.
Oh, this is a good point right here. I'm gonna show you this, Alfred. This is a good point.
In verse 18, 22,
Well, every time you see the word God, it's plural. You got to look at the context.
Yeah, but who are the Most Highs in Daniel 7?
You have to tell me what verse you're talking about.
So I'm
Wow,
talking
it's
about
always the context,
Daniel 7, like when the Ancient of Days first appears, you see verse 9, right?
I'm talking specifically like when he's sitting on the throne and then the Son of Man is being brought before him.
But how many thrones are mentioned?
Well, there's two thrones. If you go to Revelations 3 and 21, when Christ says, them that, I'm paraphrasing, them that endure will sit with me on my throne as I sit with my Father in his throne. Even in the heavens, there's two thrones.
Right.
So if there's two thrones, you got God on one throne and you got Christ on another throne.
Right, absolutely. Now with this, when it continues.
I feel like this is where a lot of people just don't. They try to say like, oh, I understand there's a difference between between the Trinity and oneness, but they'll make the same mistake. They'll be like, well, so are you saying that the Son isn't the Son and that there's no Father, or that the Father is the Son? And they don't even seem to understand the difference between those two. Because modalism or oneness, you kind of are familiar with it, Pentecostal. They believe it's either one of two things, and this is for the audience too, because sometimes I'll say modalist or oneness, and I don't really explain it. But basically, oneness believe one of two things: either that the Father is the man Jesus Christ, that he is the flesh, or that the Father indwelt the flesh. So whenever the Son or Jesus is mentioned, it's always regarded to the flesh, and the Father is indwelling that flesh.
Yeah, I think Oneness Pentecostals teaches that typically your Pentecostals run a mill, they teach Trinitarian. They're more Trinitarian. They teach Father, Son, Holy Spirit of God.
You said Pentecostals?
Mhm.
Well, I guess it depends on the Pentecostal church you go to, because most Pentecostal churches that I've at least seen and witnessed, they are oneness.
Yeah,
Um,
they tend to be in English, but not. There's typically no oneness Pentecostal in Spanish.
oh, in Spain. Oh, okay, okay, that makes
So,
sense.
yeah, in Spanish they don't teach. They typically don't teach one. They teach they teach a um, Trinitarian position. The only problem with that, the only problem,
LCK, LCK, stupid. In my comments, he said you fed her blueberries. I'm calling Child Protective Agency.
what is wrong with blueberries? Blueberries are tasty.
Yeah, man. And that's my fault too, because you know I was feeding my daughter healthy stuff in the beginning, and then I introduced her to like Oreos and all this stuff, and it was, oh my gosh,
I
it's
was
just downhill from there.
I was gotta get my fix.
Hmm.
Man, my wife made some white rice and some beans. Smells really good and everything. And I come home, I was like, oh man, that smells good. And she was like, hey, I made that fish the other day. I'm like, nope, I ain't that. That's old. Been in the fridge 2 days. Where's the other meat? I ain't make no meat. Then the rice will sit there for tomorrow.
Oh, Alfred, hey, you gotta follow this guy in the that's on the live right now. His name's ILCK. Let me go here. You live. Um, you see this channel right here, this guy right here?
Yeah.
Bro, follow him. He's like I like to call him the CNN of Hebrew Israelism, because he will put out like the most, current news on things going on in Hebrew Israelite circles. He'll also have videos where they make dumb statements. Like he does like funny videos and stuff. Um Here, let me go to, I can't even, like, oh, there it is, go to channel. I gotta show you some of these dudes. They're freaking funny. He and with me and Bias were doing a lot of virgin birth debates. He would do a lot of quick videos on some of the clips from there. So 9 months ago, let's see, let's go about a year ago. Let's see if I can find something.
Oh, you clip one of yours?
Man, he posts so much. He posts good stuff too. Um, Not on my channel, but he posts clips from
From
some of my debates. Dang, man, how far back is it? Was it that long ago? There's no way it's 3 years. It might be under shorts. Hey, LCK, help me out here, man. You might, I don't know if he's still watching. I'm gonna try to find one clip. I know he did. Actually, wait. Let me do this. Oh, he's got the whole debate. This guy on here.
Is there a faster way to get rid of like unsubscribe from channels, but in bulk?
No, I don't think so. I
You
know
gotta go by one.
for email, there's a way to unsubscribe to things. Um,
Gotta subscribe from some of the channels. Like I'm saying, like multiple channels at the same time on YouTube.
I don't think so.
You got to go one by one, right?
Hmm. think it's under. Dang, it's got to be under one of his shorts.
Who's the dude right there with the Home Alone? The two dudes.
These two dudes?
Yeah.
Whack 100 and Tazariak. Captain Tazariak, that's the one that's debating God Logic in this other video up here. Okay,
Oh,
so
the dude with the crown?
yeah. So
What's
Captain
with the dude with the
Tazariak,
crown?
yeah. So he is like, let me see. When it comes to how big Hebrew Israelism is, he's like I would say the number 3 most popular guy in all Hebrew Israelite camps. So unbiased or Ron, as you know, where you see where it says unbiased sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ron. That's his YouTube name. So
William,
want to see? Yeah.
the guy that you was debating last?
No, Ron, the one that hopped on with us, and we were talking with him and Padai and Azariah. I think this was the first one you hopped in on. The guy smoking.
Oh, Mr. Yeah, I remember that. That's his name is Unbiased Sports.
Yeah. Yeah, not the one smoking, but the one that was kind of like he was saying he was in the middle on
Okay.
stuff. But
Oh, the one that kept saying, "I do this, man. I've been doing this."
yeah. Hey, he really does though. Like he debated Captain Tazariak on the virgin birth, and they didn't tell him that it was going to be timed. They didn't even give him a date. So he wasn't really prepared walking into this debate. But check this out. Check out this clip.
All right, man. Well, I'm about to roll. Yeah, thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate that. A nice Friday evening. You know, nice Friday evening debate. So I'll leave it up to the people. Let me see what they got right here. How the voting look?
I haven't looked at it at all. I don't get caught up in the votes like that.
They got Unbiased Sports winning by 1. That's it. Debate is over. They got 51 to 49.
I'm surprised that Unbiased Sports got 51. The vote is over. Let me kill a vote so nobody can go up on the vote. I'm surprised that he got 51. To keep it a buck, I'm thinking that he could have had like at least up in the 70s. It shows a lot that the audience don't really pay attention and the audience don't really be listening. It's clearly in the Bible, the shit that he was reading, clearly a virgin birth, man. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is wrong with our people? We changed the script.
Yeah, this dude, he don't believe in the Bible, so he, you know.
Who?
The dude that's talking. No, this dude right here, dude that's talking. He's kind of all over the place, but his platform is Black community. I think it's a conscious community platform as well. Like he's the one that's like really like one of the more well-known platforms. But he hosts a lot of different debates, like a lot. Anyways, let's get back to the wait. Okay,
Wait,
yeah.
so he doesn't like virgin birth, or what is he?
Nah, he just doesn't believe in the God of the Bible, more specifically. Yeah. He's like he looks at a lot of different things basically. He's open-minded. But yeah, let's get back to this. I'm gonna play this.
Years ago, it talks about how the saints of the Most High, right? It says the saints of the Most High.
I think that's later down in the chapter.
Yeah, later down.
What I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is the Ancient of Days is sitting on his throne.
Yeah.
And then the Son of Man is coming to him.
Yeah, but my question is this:
who's that Son of Man?
Oh, that's Jesus. My point is this though: who are the Most Highs that it's talking about? Because it's mentions Most Highs in plural.
No, you got to show me. You got to show me what you're talking about.
Okay, so
I'm not aware.
it says,
It's in Daniel 7. I could probably find it quick.
Yeah, it's in Daniel. You got a Bible?
Yeah.
Give me Bible. That's Bible right here. Give me Bible. So we go to Daniel 7, and we go to.
If you just pause, I think we should be both applauded for being able to go with 40 minutes without pulling out one actual Bible verse and everybody understanding and following. I think that's amazing in itself.
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
All right.
So this debate is done.
All right, so we go to Daniel.
You think it says Daniel 7?
Yes, sir. Daniel 7.
So the one I was talking about is verse 9 when it says, "They beheld to the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow." That's the verse I was talking about. But you said there was another one?
Yeah, so when you continue to read down, as you just said, that there's thrones and yada yada.
Maybe 22, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's one.
And the time.
18 is one too. Verse 18.
Verse 18, it says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever." And you're saying that word Most High is plural. I'm assuming in Hebrew?
Yeah, in the Hebrew.
It's plural?
Yeah, in the Hebrew
so
it's plural.
let me pull my...
don't quote me.
Quick correction. Quick correction. He says in the Hebrew, this is a very small, minute thing, but it's not Hebrew in this portion. This is the Aramaic portion of Daniel. From Daniel 3 to Daniel, I believe either 7 or 10, it's all in Aramaic. So when you see, like for instance, Saints of the Most High, it's Elion, but there's another word for Most High. It's spelled a little differently in the actual Hebrew in other places. But yeah, let me let him finish his point, and then I'll show you guys what he's talking about.
Elohim or something like that.
Elohim, but Elohim is
not Elohim. It's like Nahim. It's
a different type, because Elohim is plural in itself.
Bible Hub for me. Go to Bible Hub. Bible Hub.
Yeah. I have a Blue Letter app on my phone, so I'm gonna grab it, because Elohim is plural always. That's why important is context. So you said Daniel 7 and 18.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go to the interlinear, and you talk about Elyon.
Yeah.
You talk about the Most High. You talk about that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show you one mistake, Alfred, that Hebrew Israelites make when they use Blue Letter. I showed my audience this before. Let me just let me check on the comments. I like to make sure I'm reading. Okay, comments cool. All right. So Alfred, when they go to Blue Letter, Alfred, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, when they go to Blue Letter, one thing they do is they have no idea how to read all of this that's on the screen. So one thing that I learned, especially doing the virgin birth debates, is that you see how it says inflected, root, transliterated. So that's the order in which these words are. So the inflected, if you just pause, it'll pop up. It'll say inflected. And then the middle will say root, and then the bottom transliterated. So the inflection is how it appears in the text. The root is the word that it comes from without the yad, vav, and then the ending vav and noon. So basically, when you're looking at this is the root word, but this is what's in the text. So the root word is always going to be, I forget in the Hebrew what it is. I know in Greek it's always singular, nominative, masculine for nouns. For verbs, it's always first person. So you're always going to see that omega on the end of verbs because that's always the first person indicator. So God Logic's point here, and the word is Elyonin. He's going to find it on Bible Hub. But when we click here, this is going to show us the parsing of the word. So it's going to show us right here. Like I said, it's in Aramaic. I don't know what this code is exactly. I'll look that up. I think it's just the way they do AAMPA, AAMPA. Yeah, it's a shorter form of all of this. So this is an adjective, speech, type, adjective, gender, masculine, number, plural, state, absolute. So when this word is plural, a better way to translate this is, but the saints of the highest ones. And the reason that we know this is that, Captain's going to try to make a point that, oh, this word is just plural, but it's just talking about one. Check this out. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So you would expect both of these to be plural. So when we go down to the first Most High, it's Eliah, Eliah. So Eliah is singular. And then the next usage of this is plural. So Galatians is going to make this point that the highest ones are so called because there's not just one person who is the highest. All three persons of the Trinity are the highest because one, the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father, and the Father is sitting on the throne. So before the Holy Spirit proceeded in Acts 2, the Holy Spirit was on the throne with the Father, and when the Son ascended back up to the Father, he is also on the throne, which is why he's called the highest one as well.
You would
Is this whole
understand though, it's just the
Yeah.
fact that how they make mounds out of molehills.
Yeah.
Fussing about it, especially because it's like, but you're not Hebrew. You didn't look. You didn't come up with the Aramaic or Yiddish or any of that. Oh no,
Oh,
but then you
Alfred, don't say
claim
Yiddish. Don't say Yiddish.
or any breakdown of any of that parsing of any of those dialects or anything like that. Especially
Hmm.
because you like, well, hold on a moment. You were um, born of this guy over here. That doesn't mean that you're from this guy right here. And you speak English now. It's not like you. So you know what I mean? It's one thing to study something,
Yeah.
and it fascinates me that they're saying it as a not as a student saying, hey, you know what? According to this guy, like you're sourcing their work because they're the actual Hebrew scholar. They're Hebrew.
Right.
And you're coming from an outside position saying, well, according to this guy, he sources that. What? Because if somebody says something in German, I'm not going to just repeat what that guy said and act as though I'm German. You know what I mean? Because I'm not German. So I can't attest to none of that. I'm just going to say this guy said that because according to their language, he stated this. I think sometimes that becomes very disingenuous and very arrogant, in a lot of sense that a lot of the Hebrew Israelites do, which I find very I always find it to be very questioning. Like, you're saying is that there's you, but then you're willing to condemn the ones that are there, saying that they're not Hebrew and that you're the actual Hebrew. But I've never read in history anywhere where know any of the Middle Eastern languages came from. You know,
You know what another fallacy is as well, that they commit? They say, as you start bringing up the Greek and the Hebrew, they say, "Oh, do you speak Greek? Do you speak Hebrew?" Oh, like, no, I don't. Oh, then you can't talk about the language. Like, if you're not an expert in the language, basically, if you don't know as much as the scholars who translated the Bible, then you can't really speak on it. And it's like, wait. Let's hold that same standard to English. Okay. You're not an expert in English, right? No. Okay. So you should be able to speak on what the English language means. Oh, no, I can. Well, why is you can and I can't, even though we're scholars respectively to each language? That argument itself doesn't make sense.
yeah.
And then the other one they try to make too, especially with their Lashawan Kodash, how they pronounce the Hebrew. They say Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, all these things. They say this is the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was
Yeah.
a difference in the paleo.
Well,
But then,
Alfred, you know what's interesting though?
mhm.
So so when you talk about ancient Hebrew or Paleo Hebrew, same thing. Because Paleo just means ancient. When you talk about that, you're talking about the written script. You're not talking about how it's pronounced. Because before the vowel markings came out, they already knew how these things were pronounced. The reason why the vowel markings were there was definitely due to halakha, but it was to preserve the pronunciation of things through the years. Um, because you can't just rely on one teacher teaching five students teaching five students, yada yada. You can't just rely on that. You have to rely on something. And they understood this. Like oral Torah had to be written down. That's why they understood at some point because it was forbidden to be written down in first century and before that. But they understood that if it wasn't written down, then it's liable to, be forgotten or to be corrupted. So if it's written down, now we have, an actual record of, hey, this is what this person said in this time, instead of, oh, well, my teacher told me that this person said this, and then someone else's teacher said something different.
Right.
Um, so that's one thing I got that from a Messianic Jewish rabbi. He said that ancient Hebrew is just, it's a script. It's not a way of speaking. So when they say there's only a vowels, like that's, you're not going to find that anywhere
Yeah.
regarding the study of ancient Hebrew. Because you study Hebrew, that's something that makes hard to study Hebrew. You have to study it not based on how many different texts we have in Hebrew. You base it on that and also sister languages, Akkadian, Arabic, Syriac, and these languages all have various vowels. So you have the I, U, E, A, and O. Um, and of course, Hebrew Israelism, they reject certain vowels, which doesn't, I
Well,
mean,
that's because everybody's trying to find, look,
trying to be different.
well, that's the problem that that's that's what I get them when they're trying to compare. Um, I think what everybody's doing though is trying to find the what fits their narrative when it comes to A and I and O's and U's, because it might change the course of that word. And people, those guys will say, well, no, we're not doing it. Yes, you are, because they're doing the same thing in English when it comes to different versions of the Bible. They're doing the same thing when it comes from the Greek. Oh, no, no, you got to take in the Westcott word. No, you got to take in Texas Receptor. So it's the same thing. Everybody's like getting to this real nitpicky thing where I get it. You should find this correct source as you can get. But I always tell people, look, hinge it upon what Christ said. Christ said that two or three people must be your witness. Everything must be hinged on that. So if Jonah said it, Abdiah said it. If Abdiah said it, Matthew said it. So on and so forth. So you got to find a correlation between. You can't be just, well, we changed it because this guy said this. Because if we do that, then none of the scripture is going to make sense. You know what I mean? And that's why I hate when people, especially either them or in the Christian group, they do that because
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, that Bible. Like I was talking to my sister the other day, and she was telling me something along the line like we were talking about Spanish version, and we were talking about which one is superior to another. And it wasn't that I was trying to say what's superior. It's just I was trying to correlate to her which one is pulling off the correct the the correct Greek text, and she was like, no, that version, the only one that actually pulls off the the correct text is an RVG 2004 and beyond, or you got to go back to about 1509, and that one's a slight bit off, but it's as close as you're gonna get. Uh, they just they over the years they just took that guard that those that version and degraded it. So it wasn't until 2004 where it was corrected. Um, but everybody that she talked, she's like, no, that version is not superior to this text, and I'm like, that's not the point. What text is superior is where's he pulling his source from, and I think that's where I get like I can see why there's so much confusion.
Yeah, their research is. I mean, I'm telling you, Alfred, 9 times out of 10, if you're talking to a Hebrew Israelite, and let's say they pinpoint a word and they want to look at something, but your point, like say your point is, hey, I'm talking about this word being plural, and they go to the word. I forgot to show you. This is what they do. Instead of looking at all of this, they click right here and they say, oh, right here, Elion, and then they just read the Most High of God. They don't see plural. They don't understand how to look at how it is plural. But even though right here, BDB, it says plural of God.
Do you like a Brown Divers and Big Briggs?
I do. I think it's a really good lexicon. I think it's complementary to Gesenius. And I think it's a really good starter lexicon. Like once somebody gets a Strong's, they need to get a Gesenius, Brown Divers Briggs, Thayer's, and I would say BDAG. Have you ever heard of BDAG for Greek?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm not sure if I got that one.
Yeah, let me pull it out. Okay, so it's called BDAC because it's basically the the author's names are, what was it? Bauer, yeah, Bauer, Duches, Ardents, and Gingrich. These are the authors of it, but it's called a Greek English lexicon of the New Testament and other early Christian literature. So you guys can see that.
Hold on, I have my.
So that's BDAG. I would also always recommend that because it gets into very specifics.
Wait, what's the name of that? The whole thing? I just got paper.
Greek English lexicon of the New Testament and other early Christian literature. Greek English lexicon of the New Testament and other early Christian literature.
And the other one was, you said what was the other one?
For Greek?
You said the other word.
Thayer's?
No, I got Thayer's. I got Mounds. You were talking about
So for Hebrew, I mentioned Gesenius and
Gesenius.
Yeah. Gesenius, that's like Jim has that on his website. That's a staple. Every single Hebrew source that you look at for like dictionary. So like whether it be um the Theological Lexicon of the Old Testament, that's a 4-volume set. That one's really good. Or whether it's Theological Word Book of the Old Testament, Theological Dictionary of the Old Testament. There's 2 others that are really good. I don't have them yet. I plan on getting them though. But those all mention Gesenius in a lot of the definitions. Here's another one too, Alfred. You would definitely like this one. This is called the Vocabulary of the Greek New Testament, and this is by Moulton and Milligan.
What's it called?
Moulton, the Vocabulary of the Greek New Testament.
Is it Moten or TON?
Moulton. Moulton. See at the bottom, Moulton and Milligan. Yeah. Moulton and Milligan. Moulton has a.
What's the name of that book again?
The Vocabulary of the Greek New Testament. So a lot of people refer to this as MM, as I've seen in a lot of citations of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Moulton is like a bona fide Greek scholar. Like he has a 5-volume learning Greek set of books. Let me see if I can pull this up. Milligan has a lot of good commentaries. I don't know if he has a lot going into depth in the Greek. I know he does go in depth. But let me pull this up. Moulton, you see these? Here, let me pull this out here. You see these grammars right here, these 4 grammars?
Yeah.
These are all Moulton, James Hope Moulton. And he
Oh,
goes
okay.
over different things. I don't even know what this is in the first one. It's probably just prologue in the Greek. Accidents, word formation, syntax, and style. So he goes over a lot of different things in the Greek. But yeah, and then he has an introduction to the Greek New Testament, 2 lectures on the science of language. He goes very, very in depth. I really like his work, but they basically use findings in archaeology, like inscriptions, papyruses, and other things to basically come up with definitions. Same thing, BDAC does the very same thing. He'll use early Christian literature when pulling out certain definitions, or classical Greek literature. It's very, very helpful because you kind of see a glimpse of how these guys used it, and then you can kind of get maybe a better understanding. Because some words are standalone to the Bible alone, or their meaning is specific to the Bible alone, but some share that meaning with outside and inter Christian literature, basically. But let's get a couple more minutes in of this. I want God Logic to finish his point here, and then honestly, there's not much more left for this debate here.
Like Nahim, it's
a different type, because Elohim is plural in itself.
For me, go to Bible Hub. Bible Hub. Yeah.
I have a Blue Letter app on my phone, so I'm gonna grab it. Because Elohim is plural always. That's why important is context. So you said Daniel 7:18.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go to the interlinear, and you talk about Elyon.
Yeah.
You talk about the Most High. You talk about that. That's what the Most High.
That's the word, and that word.
And then you see it's the same word.
Yeah, that's the root word there, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying,
but the word, let me see.
Let me see if I got both saints in.
Oh, you got
here it is.
Like me,
Neem, right? And
right.
It's supposed to say it's the masculine plural.
Right. That's what I showed you here. Look, when I showed you down here, when I said biblical Hebrew plural of God.
Yeah.
But Elohim and those Elyon, I'm gonna switch back.
But this is the word for the Most High. Ooh.
But all those words are plural in Hebrew.
No, it's not, because there's
so when you
this is what I'm saying. If you go to verse 27, it has Most High in the singular, and it also has Most High.
You said in Daniel 7:27?
Yes, sir.
And when I looked up, it was always singular. But you're looking down at in the definitions that it can be plural. But you said Daniel 7:27?
Yeah, Daniel 7:27.
So I'm gonna go to the Most High there. That's also the same Elyon. Now, when you look up the Strong's definition, or when you go down biblical Aramaic, it'll tell you that the word is biblical Hebrew plural of God. But when you look up any of the words, Elohim or Elyon,
it's 25.
Daniel 7:25?
Yeah, Daniel 7:25, it uses Most High in the singular. And then uses...
I'm assuming that's somebody telling you that. You talk about how it's written in Hebrew?
Yes.
Which one is it in plural again? Give me that one.
Right, so
he said, I'm assuming it's somebody telling you that, meaning he's saying he don't think that that's actually in the text. So let's go to it.
That if it don't fit the narrative.
Yeah. He's saying, God Logic is saying in verse 25, you have a singular usage and a plural usage, showing you that it's not like it is showing a distinction of here. The Most High clearly is the Father. He shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the highest ones. Captain saying, oh, I think somebody's telling you that, because he's basically saying it's not in the text. But here we just saw this one is singular. You guys can see it right down here, singular in number. And then we go down to Elyonin. This is plural. So Captain's trying to weasel himself out of this. I don't think he's ever heard this argument before. So you can tell he's freestyling.
Well, it has to be something, because how can it not be Jesus if he's not talking there? Because he's talking about saints. When have you ever heard the word saints?
Well, not the saints. We're not looking at saints. We're looking at of saints of the Most High.
Right.
Saints is Saints is plural. But
Right.
we can also see the context here, Alfred. If we go up to verse 13, um, there's a vision given to Daniel. He says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. So the Ancient of Days we know is the Father. The Son of Man is Christ. Now, another interesting point here is when you read verse 14, check out what it says. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. The word serve here is pilach in the Aramaic. And this word in all of Daniel is only used of either false or true worship of God. So false worship would be when Nebuchadnezzar is speaking to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and he says, "Thou refuseth to serve my gods," and these are the false gods, but the same word is used, and it's also used of worshiping the true God as well. So this word is divine worship, divine service. So the Son of Man is given this divine worship because he is a divine figure. He comes with the clouds of heaven, which only God uses as his chariots. And that's why we can wrap all of this into Matthew 26:47. That's probably off. No, it's further down. Yes. So check this out. Verse 63 of Matthew 26. Um, But Jesus held his peace, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Check out what the high priest does. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. So he's saying it's blasphemy, not just to say that you're the Messiah, but to say that you're this Messiah in Daniel 7. Because the Jews of this time understood that the Messiah here was a divine figure, because only God comes with the clouds. So that's why they kept saying it was blasphemy, and this is why they ended up killing him. So this is that's I don't know if God Logic brings this up. Let me let him finish his point real quick, and then I'll let you get this out.
In the plural, it's the Elohim.
No, which verse? Yeah, yeah.
That's verse 22 and verse 27.
Okay, so when I went to 22 earlier, it says, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed him. There's nothing in this verse that will pluralize that concept.
No, the word
dude, that makes me laugh. That crown he's got, dude.
What'd you say?
That crown, man. It's just.
No, you hear what he said though?
Yeah.
He said there's nothing in that verse that would pluralize that concept. And it's like he's reading from the English, and God Logic is making an appeal to the original text. And Captain's just he's just missing it. I said it at the beginning in part 1 and a little bit in part 2. I really think Cap is like drunk, because it's not like he's not known for this. On his lives, he literally is, drinking alcohol. So it wouldn't be a surprise. Like, he's just not following the conversation like at all.
It's okay to be an alcoholic through the Bible, man. Okay now.
Yeah.
It's 2025. Everything's going.
Exactly. Yeah. We can change our pronouns.
All
sorts of things.
It's cool. It's all right. We just don't get that.
Oh yeah. What'd you say?
Yeah, we see that we're not as smart as people now.
Yep.
I get what you're saying. I don't have a problem with that, because as you can see right there, it's the same way. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But what I'm saying is, Elyon, if I go to Psalms 83, for example, when it says, Thou whose name alone art the Most High over all the earth, it's that same pluralized version that you say. That's Psalms art the Most High. If I go to Psalms 83, for example.
Let's follow Captain. See what he's talking about. Psalms 83. Guessing it's probably at the end. Yep, thou art the most high over all the earth. Captain. Wait, what? Oh, did you see what he said, Alfred?
He said that well, he's debating old dude about being pluralized.
Right. But he said it's plural here, so he's basically trying to say like, oh, this is a regular usage of it. But God Logic said, hey, verse 25, you have a singular and a plural usage of the Most High. So Captain rebutted and he said, well, Psalm 83 says the Most High again, and it's plural, as almost if as it's a regular usage. But here, as we can see, it's singular. So we just caught Cap in a lie. I don't know what he's looking at and what somebody told him, but he's not looking at the original text.
They don't want to lose membership, man. You know,
Yeah, no, for real, man. I'm telling you, he's making it up on the fly, and that's what you witnessed with Raham. He was making stuff up on the fly. That's what you also witnessed with Azariah and Padah. They were making stuff up on the fly. So let's see if God Logic catches this mistake.
When it says thou whose name alone art the most high over all the earth, it's that same pluralized version that you say.
No.
That's Psalms 83. Yeah, Psalms 83 and the last verse when it says that men may know that thou whose name is Yahweh art the most high over all the earth. You'll see the same thing.
Let's see. So Psalm,
look at the top.
83?
Yeah. See where it says, see it? Right here, I'm sorry. It's this one. I'll grab the mic again. My bad.
Yeah, turn it on.
So it's this one. See how we got the plural right there? See how it's plural?
Where do you see the? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I see
Elion, and see the Hebrew is written in plural. That's how it has the een on there. Yeah, that's the een on there.
All right, nice.
So that verse is saying.
Yeah.
So that verse is saying that thou whose name alone art the most high.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where Captain, this is where he needs to do a little bit more research. He said, you see how it says the een on here at the end? Een is not plural. It's where you have Elionin. That is the plural. But right here, it is just Elion. That's all it is. Or Elion, because this yod is a Y sound, and this dot above the vav is the O, and this is the noon.
Yeah.
So El, and then it stops here. El Yon. So what he's saying makes no sense, and it's kind of clear that he just doesn't know Hebrew. But God Logic kind of takes his word for it, and that's his mistake. Guys, when you guys are, debating Hebrew Israelites, never take their word for anything. I've been a victim to this many times, and I've just learned whatever they say, just proof check them, because most times they're just not competent when it comes to certain things. So let's see if God Logic catches us.
Over all the earth. So even that, just because you see the een on the end of it, just like the Elohim, you see the een on the end of it, you have to look at the context.
Yeah.
So it's not always
right. Always context.
So in the ancient of days,
it's always context. Yeah.
Always context. If you don't, if what you say doesn't agree with what their theory of it is, then you got to go to the context.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
The Ancient of Days and the Son of Man, who are ruling in heaven and who all serve and worship.
Nobody say that they don't rule together. I never said that the Father don't rule with the Son. This subject is Jesus God, and He's not.
Yeah.
You have the throne that the Father sits.
See, this was, and I'm gonna end it off here. This was God Logic.
That makes no sense.
What do you say?
That makes no sense. I think what he just said makes no sense. That makes no logical sense. What he just said.
Let me see.
Rule together. I never said that the Father don't rule with the Son. This subject is Jesus God, and He's not.
Yeah.
You have the throne that the Father sits on, and you have a throne that Christ has.
Yeah. So who's the Lord of Lords in heaven?
So he shouldn't have even switched. This was God Logic's only real issue. Everything else he did good in this debate, I would say, like top notch. Very good, very simple. simplistic so everybody in the audience could follow. Nothing too complicated, and it's perfect for this setting.
Yeah,
But
but by
the
what
only
he just, yeah, go
the
ahead.
only thing he did, Alfred, that we could critique is that he let him get away with Psalm 83. Psalm 83 is still in the singular, so it wouldn't go to Captain's point. It would go to God Logic's. So I think he should have stuck in on that point and been like, no, 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 right here is singular. So my point still stands that there is a difference between the singular and the plural. When the singular is used, it's used of one person. When the plural is used, it's used of more than one. And Daniel 7 has the Son of Man and the Ancient of Days. And even in one point, it actually says, I think we were just looking at it. It literally, I think it was verse 8. No, wait, let me find it. Right here, verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. Saints, right here, or Most High is plural. Ancient of Days is already mentioned. So there's so many indications that the Most High being plural is very warranted in this context, including that we see the singular.
Well, see,
So,
the problem I have with what he just said, okay, this is because this opens a floodgate. If you're saying that Jesus sits next to the Father ruling, right?
mhm,
But he's not God, right? Jesus is not
yeah.
God. He's Son of God. But then in the New Testament, we being of Christ as well, and sons of God, do we sit at his right hand too at some point? And then
Um,
if we do, I mean, by their logic, if you were assuming by what he's saying right there, then that by that logic, men should be able to sit on the throne too, because Christ is
well, they'll
not
they'll
God.
have a rebuttal for that because the scripture says that Jesus said that to them that endure in Revelation, he
Mhm,
said, I will have them to sit on my throne as I sit on my father's throne. So they'll have some type of
mhm.
hazy rebuttal to that. But I think the stronger argument is whenever they mention God, always ask, okay, are you talking about the Father? Okay, the Father. So you're saying the Son is not the Father. I agree. And always make those things clear
Yeah,
that we're
see,
saying that
I get that part,
yeah,
but what he's saying there is saying that Christ is not God. It's not God. He
right.
so that means then the Father must have, if he's not begotten of his own, then that would say that Christ had to have been, because he was born of Mary, then he must be a demigod. He's got to be a demigod because Mary's not a god. Mary's human. So he
Right.
has to be a demigod. He can't have been full God.
But Alfred,
It's
you see what you
kind of
did
like
there
It's like
when
being Hercules.
you see what you did there. You mentioned God and then you said the Father. So when you have these conversations with them, they don't understand the Trinity. So when we mix terms, they get very confused. Like I was watching this debate and a lot of the guys' question to the Trinitarian were, does Yahweh have a God? Does Yahweh serve another? Does Yahweh pray? And they're asking all these vague questions with the term Yahweh that we understand to be the common name among all three persons. So when they say that, we assume that they mean father, and we don't even say, hey, do you mean father? Because if they mean father, now it makes more sense. Or if they just say Yahweh and they ask the question, you got to be like, well, that's not specific because I hold that all three persons are Yahweh. So when you say Yahweh, are you referring to the Father? Most times they are. They just want the question to be confusing itself so that when you give the answer, it sounds weird. It does like
Yes,
even if like it doesn't matter who's listening, it'll
right.
only be the Trinitarians on your side and the Hebrew Israelites against you. Because when you say, uh, does Yahweh have a God? They think Father. But when you say Yahweh having a God, you're saying the Son, yes, he does have a God. So we assume too much in debates. So I'm trying to really get out of that. I talked to Unbiased about it because he said, yeah, he started noticing that people
About
use they use the word God in substitution of the Father when having
well
these
that
discussions.
but that's the problem, and a lot of what he's saying is uh, very dangerous. It's very dangerous. And that's why I'm like that leaves too many open and the comment of Christ not being God, just being the Son, opens way too many doors for a lot of weird doctrine. You know what I mean? It opens a lot of it could usher in a whole boatload in connectivity to other religions. Because a lot of other religions teach, look, the Mormons teach that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, but not God Himself, depending on which Mormon group you talk to. And so you got to think, well, hold on a moment, are you guys Mormons then? Are you guys share some similarities? Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe Jesus is God either. That's a very dangerous precept. Very very slippery slope to be thinking that is what I'm saying.
Right.
So those type of comments like that is I look at those subtleties to be just like what Satan told Eve. I look at those very same subtleties to be just like what he told Eve. Oh, he's not going to kill you. He just knows that the day you eat out of this tree, you'll be like him.
Right. Yeah.
Those
No, I
word on
agree.
plays, very subtle. Same thing. Jesus touched the same thing with Jesus. Oh, well, if you just jump off here, I bet you any amount of money he'll send his angels to come down and get you. Very subtle, and that right there, that right there is very demonic. What you just said.
Right.
That's very
Yeah, dude.
demonic.
I mean, they don't even think about this stuff. Like
Yeah.
they don't have the whole totality of scripture in their
Mhm.
minds when they're looking at these things. I saw one guy. I'll probably do this debate review next on my channel, Vocab Malone. Dude, I'm telling you, man, this is your twin. Maybe not in looks, but in like how he acts. He cracks some pretty funny jokes on his live. Uh
Bring him on. Let's talk with him.
I don't know if he'll come on. I've been on his channel. He has a bigger channel. It's this guy right here. This guy.
Uh, but you got your thing
This
is
guy's
your
funny.
your thing is muted or
Oh, is it? Oh, wait, wait, wait.
your
Oh, I
video
didn't even share. Hold up.
your video.
Okay.
Don't trust. Well, I knew you didn't know.
This guy.
God knows. That's what he said in John 2.
His character reminds me of you. But I've been on his channel a couple times. We did a whole segment on the virgin birth and all the debates we did and all this stuff, giving him good pointers. But he did a debate on the Trinity when he was in San Diego with some Hebrew Israelites. So I'll probably review that one next. Um, and vocab, I think I've been on some of his other shows too. Like I'll pop up on Smoke Room, just basically tell him what I'm working on and I'll like pop him a question or whatever. But
Is he a Hebrew Israelite?
no. He excuse me. He's a I'm pretty sure he's Protestant. I don't know how far his predestination views go. I know me and him we disagree in certain things. I don't know if they're minute yet. Just because like when you see guys like this and they're debating, they're not always expounding on their own positions. That's what I would like to do on this channel at some point is give a statement of faith or maybe just watch Pastor Jim because I don't really veer off in anything that Pastor Jim says. I'm usually always right on point with everything that he says. So I might play a statement of faith and maybe just what I want to do is I want to make a Word document and list out all those things and then maybe do some in-depth studies in all those categories.
Ain't no wrong
But
with that.
yeah, yeah. I think I would definitely like you to be a part of that too. That would be a fun experience for
Yeah,
sure.
I like having this conversation with these dudes. Only because I think the reason why I pose these questions is to get them to think, hold on a moment. Is that like that? Because if it is that way, then we have to question some certain things. And that's what it comes down to. Being able to question the certain things, because it's those certain things that we start to think, well, hold on a minute, what was I taught? It's the first, when God cut into my heart years ago, man, I one of the things that came on my mind, dude, I was super angry, dude. Super angry because I thought, how dare these dudes rob me all these years? But as God taught me over the years, well, no, I kept you there, you know. I'm the one who kept you locked away from knowing at the time. And I had to come to the acknowledgement that, hey, God, you do whatever you want under the sun. You know, that a moment of epiphany, per se, as uh, um, Nebuchadnezzar had. Now I know that under the heavens you do whatever you want, and it's you that put men to rule. God's got to bring you down to that moment, and I've come to that point to be like, you know what? I'm no longer angry at them. But anytime I can actually preach the gospel, I'm always trying to tell people, hey, look, you don't take my word for it. There's a lot of information out there, and you need to make the questions, formulate the questions to say what is actually true, and then pursue that. If you find the truth, then you're going to have to reconcile that, because if you say, well, this is the truth, and then you say, well, hold on a moment, but more information comes to light that actually disprove what position you were previously, then you have to make some corrections. But once you can make the corrections based upon the more knowledge you get, then you have to say, okay, then what do I do now?
All right.
And once you get to that position, then we have to now lay fault. Because if you come to that position and you say, this is wholeheartedly truth, and you say, well, no, I don't think that's true. Well, now that's being arrogant. Now you're being prideful. You know, you have to come to a position in your life to say, is this the truth? And it's that those type of meeting grounds that I try to put myself to tell people, let's go to that meeting ground. That's where you're gonna have to reconcile. All I do is just give you all the information, and I'll pose the questions to say, hey, is this actually right? Because you got to find the same information. Example, right now, when you just pointed out that stuff on Blue Letter Bible, the information is there. All they got to do is click. How you gonna go to one click, but you can move the cursor over other things and you see, oh, hey, that's highlighted. Let me click there. Oh, hey, there's more information. And then you're just gonna be like, oh, that don't match my narrative. Let's get out of that.
See, and that's the issue with Hebrew Israelites and also other groups of Christian denominations that may use blue letter or lexicons. Like they don't know how to use these things. And one thing I implore you guys to do is when you guys are using lexicons or blue letter, learn to use it. Like those places that look difficult or that you don't understand, more than likely there's a place in the book that will show you, hey, this is what this is. Like lexicons use a lot of abbreviations and sources. And most likely at the beginning of the book, they have a list of abbreviations and what they mean. And they have a list of sources because they won't list the source fully out. They'll abbreviate it. So if you guys are reading something and you don't know what it's referring to, go to the beginning of the book or like in Blue Letter, just surf around and just see what you can learn in there. Like, let me show you guys this real quick and then we're gonna close out. I got a call to make to my sister. I gotta set her up with the trading bot. Mine's doing pretty good. Dude, Alfred, I had the last 18 trades are all wins. I basically made like $500 in all those, which is pretty good. Um,
Hey man, you gotta put a video together how to do that, but in Spanish. I got a couple people that will buy it off you.
Well, if they speak Spanish,
Yeah.
well, shoot, Alfred, if here, I would have to just basically give you some basic information about the bot. It would be better to sell them if you had it, but if you can sell them without that, you would basically get dude, you get commission on that. Any sell you make, you get commission. You get 33% commission. So like
It's called bot.
yeah, it's a AI trading bot.
Okay.
So if you want, what are you doing tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night is Friday night. Usually
Okay.
it's usually the wife.
Oh, you got stuff going on with the wife.
Usually Fridays.
Okay. Um,
That would have to be next week sometime.
what about Saturday morning or night? What works better?
It won't be Saturday because Saturday, uh, well, Saturday morning for me, I try to sleep it a bit, and then Saturday nights I'm on with the New York guys and then the
Col-
Colombian guys.
Columbia, yeah. Okay,
So
well, if we can find a time next week, I could give you a lot of good information
heck
that you
yeah.
could use to like kind of like be like, hey, these are some of the statistics of the bot. This is how it works. This is what because it trades in Forex. Forex is just foreign exchange currency. And it's the trading between each like currency, how much one currency is worth toward another. So USD to Japanese yen 157 yen equals $1, and it goes up and down based on the market, the stock. So when you buy in, you're investing in the currency, and whenever you buy when the stock goes up, that's because people are buying. When the stock goes down, people are selling. Um, but real quick, yeah, we can go over that next week, and I can give you some good stuff. And if you close some deals, you do. It's going for $500 right now, but they put in a thing where you can make 40, $50 payments a month, which is like, I mean, that's like going to McDonald's twice or three times, whatever. Um, but if you close a deal, I think you get around like 150 bucks, so a little extra in your pocket. Um, but yeah, we can go over that, and if you want to try to sell to some people in Spanish, you definitely can.
Okay.
Um,
I'll let you know when I can hop in to do that next week. Cool.
okay, yeah,
All right.
and then real quick, guys, for some of the cool things with Blue Letter, you guys see how it says interlinear? When we click tools, it says interlinear, and I can see everything we usually look at. You have the forward, which changes the order, reverse, forward in line, and reverse in line. So it changes the view slightly based on English order and Greek order. But one other thing that's cool is you can go to different Bibles. You can see the same translation across different Bibles. Very cool. I think it probably even has the Spanish Bible in here. Yep. Um, and you can cross-reference with other verses. This is where is it? This is okay. What's cool too is you guys see these like question marks. I can see where they're getting this cross reference from. It says, why does the TSK use the King James Version? So clearly, this is the TSK, Treasury of Scripture Knowledge, a great book. I have that in my library. You go to any verse and it'll tell you based on this phrase, you can go to this, and this. And if it connects, it connects. If you don't see it, you don't see it. Oh well. But it's just good study. Good study. Commentaries. It has, your different biblical commentaries you can go into. David Guzik, David Hocking, David Shirley. I'm sure it has Matthew Henry, John MacArthur, all these guys, right? Cool commentaries to go to. Dictionaries. This is going to be a really good one too. International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. Pastor Jim recommends this. It'll take you directly to the article depending on the topic. Easton's is very good. Smith's Bible Dictionary is phenomenal. Vines is decent. But you got all these different things that you can go into, and then miscellaneous, yep, pictures. So you have a lot of stuff on Blue Letter that a lot of people don't utilize. And I think, guys, just go out and check out some of this stuff. Even when you go to the main page on, let me pull this up. If you go to the main page on Blue Letter, it has a bunch of stuff if you just start scrolling down. It's got a bunch of stuff here at the top. It's got study devotionals, apps and tools. It's got a bunch of stuff on here. So guys, start surfing around Blue Letter if you use it. It's very helpful. Um, but anyways, guys, I am pressed for time. I gotta hop on this call. Alfred, man, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. We were able to break bread and look at a few things. So,
Yeah, no
all
problem.
right, yeah. All right, Alfred, I'll hit you up, man.
All right now.
All right, shalom, shalom.